Hi, my name is Jim Bradley. I teach math at the College of DuPage.
Hi, my name is Jesse Hayes-Carver. I'm a senior academic assistant at College of DuPage in the Learning Commons. And today we'll be discussing the chance of choosing the perfect March Madness bracket.
What is March Madness? It's a single elimination tournament of 68 selected college teams competing for a national championship. On Selection Sunday, an elite selection committee announces all team seedings and pairings and team selections. Big data and serious analytics are involved in this selection. So Selection Sunday this year will be on March 13th. The play-in games for the first 4 teams will be on the 15th and 16th of March. Then we have first and second rounds, followed by Sweet 16 and Elite 8 engagements, and culminating with the Final Four early in April. A math question would be, how many games are in March Madness? Well, there are brackets. There is a West bracket that is held in San Francisco. That's the West Regional. There's a South bracket in San Antonio. There's a Midwest bracket held in our own Chicago. And there's an East bracket held this year in Philadelphia. Now, to calculate the number of games, every team, except the champion, must lose. So there are 67 games required. Why is it hard to pick? And why is it exciting? These are qualitative factors. Well, the teams are all good and well scouted. And the game itself has changed. We have 3-pointers, shot clocks, and such. And the stakes and adrenaline are high. Some rise to the occasion, some falter. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. And because you're playing in these different locations, there's generally not a home field advantage. And history tells us that upsets abound. In 2014, the tournament featured over 20 upsets, and the average number of upsets per year is a whopping 12.4. More math follows with Jesse, but in transition and anticipating March Madness, I conclude with 2 words: go Boilermakers.
So now to address chance and what that means to a mathematician. Chance is best described as probability, where probability is the number of occurrences of the event you are interested in over the total number of possibilities, or the number of outcomes. To investigate probability, perhaps the easiest way to do so is a common example of the game of heads versus tails. If you were to flip a coin, one of 2 outcomes is possible. Either the coin shows heads, or the coin ends up showing tails. And to look at this, we then would say, in terms of probability, say I choose, for example, I would like a heads to occur, that the probability of the number of heads is exactly 1, the event that I wish to observe, and the total number of outcomes of that coin flip is 2, either a heads or a tails. Taking our example of the coin flip and abstracting this into something more like a bracket present in the March Madness bracket, we can view this as a competition between heads and tails, where we will flip the coin, consider this the game, and observe the outcome, where the outcome again will either be heads or tails. Now, similar to before, the coin can either land heads or tails, and we expect a possible 2 outcomes. Now suppose, looking at this again, more in terms of our brackets, we have 2 teams playing. Now, knowing nothing in particular about advantages of Team A, say, over advantages of Team B, going to this completely as a novice, I would assume that each team is equally likely to win their match. So again, we expect 2 outcomes. Either Team A beats Team B and is the winner, or Team B beats Team A and is declared the winner. So as before, with the coin toss, and now with our competition between 2 teams, our match, I expect a total number of 2 outcomes. So now to discuss when we have 2 matches being played with 2 teams to each match, where each team is distinct. As we see here, Team A, Team B in the first match, Team C, Team D in the second match. Now, we'd like to know how many outcomes are possible between both of these matches being played. So we saw previously, Team A versus B, we noted that that had 2 outcomes, either Team A or Team B will win. Likewise, for our second match between Team C and D, Team C or Team D can win. So we notice that each match has 2 possible outcomes. So the question is, how do these relate to one another? And for that, mathematicians refer to the fundamental principle of counting. This discusses how we deal with events where the first event, say the match between Team A and B, how many outcomes that could have, and we look at a second event, such as the match between Team C and Team D, and how many ways that can play out, how many outcomes are present there. And the fundamental principle of counting states that because these 2 are independent, they happen separately, I will be multiplying the outcomes of each. So because of that, we will see that the total number of outcomes for 2 teams playing 2 separate matches, that we will have 2 times 2, the outcome of the first match times the outcome of the second match, giving us a total of 4 possible outcomes when we look at the winners between these 2 matches. So now, let's put together all the topics that we've discussed this far to address the number of outcomes for our March Madness bracket. Now, as discussed previously, we will have 67 games. This is due to the fact that we have 68 teams competing, but there will only be 1 champion, and the champion cannot play themselves. So, we have the 67 matches or games to be played, and each match, as we saw previously, has 1 of 2 outcomes. Either Team A or Team B will be the victor of that particular match. Bringing this together with our definition of probability and the occurrence that we're wishing to observe, trying to select the perfect bracket, which there can only be 1 perfect bracket, for any mistake would make it unperfect, and looking at the total number of outcomes per game, we have, again, 67 games. So our denominator, with the fundamental principle of counting, becomes 2 times 2 times 2, 67 times, because we had 2 outcomes per each game, and that brings us to a ratio of 1 over 2 to the 67th, or approximately 1 in 147 quintillion. So while it may not be ideal to make a bet on creating the perfect bracket, I would, however, bet on enjoying 67 beautiful matches this March and April.
Have you always been curious about the science around you? Submit your question and it could be featured in one of our upcoming videos. Visit cod.edu/STEM and click on So That Explains It.